And at number 16, I'm going to have my second wild card pick. Not really a surprise, but I'm going to put Shane Van Gisbergen. Look, there's going to be quite a few road course opportunities. He's going to have 5 chances to win. And, I think Mexico on equal footing with everybody. He's got to be the car to beat there, right? Going to give a high five to pass me on that one, but what a great weekend. The first international race in the NASCAR Cup Series. The only 2 full-time international drivers winning this weekend. Hometown driver Daniel Suarez winning the Xfinity Series on Saturday in a backup car. And then, of course, Shane Van Gisbergen getting his second Cup Series victory tonight at Mexico, blowing the playoff picture up into pieces. Just the second time on the season that Shane Van Gisbergen has been the top car at Trackhouse Racing, so closing in a little bit on Daniel Suarez, who was at 4. He was down in 19th position, Chastain in 16th. Both of those guys had speed this weekend, I thought. There were points in the race where they looked like they were going to be in the top 5, top 10, but did not finish out that way. But as I've talked about before on this channel, I think the whole point of this 88 car this year was rolling the dice and hoping that this happened at a road course, and this is going to be a very nice payout for this charter. Christopher Bell with a second place finish, extending his lead to 2 races on Denny Hamlin, who was not racing this weekend. He is on family duty. Congratulations to the Hamlins. Ryan Truex stepping in his place. He finished in 23rd position. Spun out a couple times, got roughed up a little bit on the restarts, but ultimately I think he did a decent job for kind of jumping into a Gen 7 car with no real experience. Chase Briscoe, a strong 7th place run, and Ty Gibbs in 11th. It looked like he might finally get that first win and or his first top car honor of the season. Neither of those happened in the race, just one spot outside of the top 10, 11th for Ty Gibbs. Moving on to Hendrick Motorsports, and you have to feel bad for Alex Bowman, a 4th place finish, but he is still with a donut in the top car category, getting beaten by 1 position by his teammate Chase Elliott. Just the second time this season Elliott has been the top car at Hendrick Motorsports. William Byron getting himself inside of the top 10. Kyle Larson down in 36th after taking damage very early in the Kyle Busch accident. There was a Spire car inside of the top 5 this weekend, but it was not Carson Hocevar. Michael McDowell with a strong showing here, a lot of stage points today. He extends his lead 2 races over Justin Haley. Justin Haley in 24th position. Carson Hocevar 10 spots behind him in 34th. He is 1 spot behind him in the top car honors in this teammate battle. John Hunter Nemechek clawing back with a 6th place run. Very, very good day for that team. Eric Jones up in the 17th position. Again, pretty decent run for a legacy car. I don't think you look at either of these guys and think that they're huge road course racers. So solid runs for both of these guys. Legacy car inside of the top 10. A very strong run for Cole Custer. It was his 3rd top car honor this season here, but really the first time I feel like he's been noticed all season. Solid top 10 run for him. Josh Berry 1 spot ahead of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Cody Ware in 31st position. He is, of course, still looking for his first top car in the single car teams category. Chris Buescher getting to 10 top car honors on the season with a 10th place run here at Mexico. They tried something different with the strategy early by not going on the wet weather tires. Seemed to have worked out pretty decently. They've got a top 10 out of it. Ryan Preece in 15th position. Brad Keselowski 10 spots behind him in 25. Both of those guys quite a ways away from Chris Buescher in this battle. Bubba Wallace leading the charge for 23XI Racing again, and he is now tied with Tyler Reddick, 7-7 in this teammate battle, so very close. Going to be good to watch this one play out. Tyler Reddick inside of the top 20 in 20th position, and Riley Herbst down in 29th. He did get spun out. I thought he had the speed to come in around 20th position, so a pretty decent run going for those guys. Over at Colleague Racing, this is now tied up 8-8. Unfortunately, didn't really get to see what Allmendinger had today. He did take some damage in that opening incident with Kyle Busch. Nonetheless, getting a 13th place run. 20 spots behind him, Ty Dillon. Dillon was kind of running around the top 10, top 15 most of the day. I didn't really see what happened there towards the end, but finishing down in the 30s. So disappointing run for the 10 car, but they definitely did have some speed this weekend. Another weekend with nothing really going on for Team Penske. Ryan Blaney, the top car here with a 14th place run. He is now 2 races up on Joey Logano. Logano down in 21st position. Austin Cindric, another one of those guys who stayed out early in the race. He came home with a top 20 and 18th. Just 2 top car honors on the season for the 2 car. The same could be said for Front Row Motorsports. Todd Gilliland finishing in 22nd position, closing in on Zane Smith and breaking his tie with Noah Gragson. Noah Gragson in 30th position. Zane Smith down in 35th. He also took damage in that Kyle Busch incident, so didn't really get to see what he had coming into today. And last but not least, a pretty disastrous weekend for RCR. Austin Dillon, 28th position. He closes within 1 of Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch down in 37th position. And with a winner so low in points like Shane Van Gisbergen, a huge blow to his chances of pointing his way into the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. To the manufacturer's table, this has a correction from last week, and I had Stuart Friesen as a Chevy instead of a Toyota. Chevrolet now eclipsing the 25 mark, winning both races this weekend. No one else won anything. Toyota at 13, Ford still at 6. One uncharted car this week in the 78 Live Fast Motorsports entry, Kathleen Legg behind the car. 32nd place run for her, thought she didn't really get in the way like she did in Phoenix. Not sure what her future is if we're going to see her in this car more for some road course races, but a decent result nonetheless. Moving on to pole winners now, Shane Van Gisbergen converting from pole to the win. He is the 11th pole sitter on the season. Again, Chase Briscoe after his stretch of 3 in a row, still leading this category. I love how attentive everyone is in the comments, everyone pointing out the claim I made about Chase Briscoe winning 3 poles in a row being the first time in the Gen 7 car. That is wrong. Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson have both already done that in this car. Moving on to stage winners, again a new addition to this list, Shane Van Gisbergen. He won his first stage win of the season. Ryan Preece, the other stage winner, he already had one on the season, so he joins Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, and Austin Cindric as 2-time stage winners on this season. Into the stage points top 10, Ryan Blaney jumping Kyle Larson for second here. Larson did not score any stage points in this one. William Byron also not scoring any, but he's still over 20 up on Ryan Blaney. No additions or subtractions to this list, just a couple guys in the 7 to 10 range moving around a couple positions. Bowman, Bell, Cindric, and Elliott rounding out our top 10 in this category, all just 7 points apart. Again, no real movement on the lap sled top 5 today. I believe William Byron is credited with leading 1 lap. He is the only driver on this list to lead a lap. I mean, Denny Hamlin wasn't even in this race, so no movement on the lap sled top 5 leaderboard. And now this is where things have gotten exciting thanks to Shane Van Gisbergen winning and bumping this down 1 position. The bubble battle has kind of blown wide open here. It was only a few positions apart. I mean, Busch and Preece were tied at 0 points. Preece now 19 back on Chris Buescher, who's on the cut line. McDowell jumping himself into this picture after a strong run. Allmendinger hanging out in this picture but 45 points back. And Kyle Busch 20th in points, 50 points back of a playoff position. Despite finishing down in 36th position, Larson getting the Xfinity fastest lap points, and I know they did some repairs to that car, and then they came out on fresh tires after it had stopped raining. The track was a bit drier, so no real shock there. He joins Hamlin and McDowell as 3-time Xfinity fastest lap point winners this season. Obviously, with Shane Van Gisbergen winning this one, he gets the Rookie of the Race point. We are now tied 8-8 after 16 races. Still a couple road courses to go, so going to be interesting to watch this one through the remainder of the season. Tonight's biggest movers, Michael McDowell up 7 positions, which is pretty crazy for being this deep into the season. I mean, we're 16 races and he jumped 7 spots in points. He moved from 23rd into 16th. Kyle Busch, tonight's biggest loser, he drops from 15th in points to 18, -3. Zane Smith also losing 3 positions, but he's a bit lower in points. He dropped from 22nd to 25th. No new additions to the DNF list, only 2 DNFs here, which I thought was pretty surprising due to the rain early on, Zane Smith and Kyle Busch, but neither of them getting onto this list. Carson Hocevar and Noah Gragson definitely tried, both spinning out multiple times in this one, but both finished the race under power. And man, AJ Allmendinger is really ruining the party here in the Brock Beard last car standings. 15 different drivers have finished last through 16 races. Kyle Busch adding himself to the list this weekend. Of course, Allmendinger leading this list with 2 on the season. Thanks so much for watching.